What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, just make bad life choices going over to scoresandodds.com where you got picks from me, Meansy, that son of a biscuit right there. Plus, you get access to this nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly what we have projected for each individual prop, plus where the best line's at. And most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounge. What is Grant's Action Lounge? Well, it is my Discord where I'm throwing in all my picks each and every single day. Been a long morning. Realized I have not even thrown in this morning's picks because there is a bunch of them. So, boom, throwing them in right now. We got a lot of them. I'm joined today by someone would say my enemy. I would say I'm indifferent. Daniel Chevelson.
What's going on, dude? Yeah, I feel like I was an upgrade there to indifferent. I feel like I was lower in your world, so I'll take indifferent. I'm a little bit sleepy. You are on Mountain Time, so it's incredibly early for you. If you want to do the math,
very sleepy.
Yeah, it's 8:00. I generally am waking up right now, 10:00 on the East Coast. But I woke up early for the show, and I have a full day ahead of me. Talking some NBA DFS at 5:00 today. Talking some NFL tonight, 9:00 with Rebar and Daigle. So this is the start of my day. I'm looking forward to talking basketball. Super excited about the season starting. I get to start yesterday. That was kind of a dress rehearsal, right? But yeah, man, this is fun. Dig in. The association's my favorite. I think it's your favorite too. I feel like it's your favorite. Maybe it's
my
not.
Least favorite to watch. It's my favorite to bet on. It's by far my most profitable.
Yeah, if they let you bet.
Yeah, no, I've got there's so many sports books. It took me a while to get fully cut off from everything. I mean, like Bet Rivers and Barstool obviously have the same exact lines. No, not quite obviously, but yeah, finally got cut off with them, both of them, and then Twin Spires thing stopped being around. So yeah, no, it's been a pain. You'll see I have multiple. Like CJ McCollum, I bet on Bet Rivers, and then I bet on DK, and then I bet on Superbook. Yeah, it's a pain, and then have to buy bets from people who I send text to, say, "Hey, bet as much money as you can on this." Okay, you have too much on it now. I'll buy some from you.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's you got to get creative though, right?
Yeah, it is a pain, but let's get right into this. Apparently, autocorrect is a thing in Excel because Palo got autocorrected to Paul, which
sure,
is also a name. But I got him over 21.5 points, assists, rebounds. That's par. Minus 110 over at DraftKings. 21's way too low of a number for him. Am I right?
So I don't watch a lot of college basketball. My understanding, he was phenomenal there at Duke. I presume he's going to draw the start tonight. I was checking to see what we have as far as his minutes projected this evening. Let's see what we have here.
Yeah.
We got to project for 33 minutes. It does seem a little bit low. Detroit's not an opponent you're necessarily afraid of. It's always sort of tricky. You're trying to figure out coach philosophies coming into this season. Pace is a big thing. Detroit's last year, Detroit the year was kind of
It clearly was a good line. They've already moved it full point because of me. All right, so we're moving on. Franz Wagner, as they say, over 21.5. They've already moved that line over at DraftKings, but you can still get 21.5 over at 365 at minus 115. Wagner's still going to have a big role in this offense. We currently have him projected for 26.5, so that's just a no-brainer. Stewart over 8.5 points. Always someone who's interesting to bet. Foul trouble, rolling offense constantly changes. Gosh, that line's moved too. This line hasn't moved. Cole Anthony over 5.5 assists. You can get a plus 140 over at Bet 365. Cole Anthony, people forget how much he likes to dish out the ball. I mean, it's going to be a new look offense to an extent with Powell in there, but I mean, he's still a guy that is a threat for a triple-double. 5.5 is way too low of a number if you're getting plus 140. I currently have it projected as a coin flip. RG Projections currently has it as a coin flip at 5.5.
I love that plus 140 number.
Yeah, if you don't have Bet 365, I'd still take it at plus 125 over at DK, or you can get 4.5 at minus 158 over at FanDuel. I just prefer the 5.5 number at plus 140 over at bet 365. This line hasn't moved. You know who is on an absolute tear in one of the worst trades I've seen in MLB history?
MLB?
No, MLB, NBA. Gosh, 3 sports going on is just messing with me.
Halliburton?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
29.5 points, assists, rebounds. Easy over there. He's going to get that on points and assists alone.
Yeah, I mean, the tricky thing is like, day one, I don't think these guys are going to be tanking right out the gate. But, like, we're going to get some crazy tanking because of the prospect, the French guy. Who's supposed to be just absolutely – I think it was Schefter. Somebody was saying that, like, basically it was a Woj. The biggest prospect of our lifetime, essentially, like bigger than LeBron possibly, which is insane.
Yeah, well, they were saying, like, I can't remember who it was. Maybe by Sam Cassell coming to mind. I don't know. But, like, if LeBron and him were in the same draft, LeBron would be the second overall pick. Yeah,
it's nuts. I mean, obviously, you don't know what LeBron's. If you know the next 20 years, of course, you take LeBron. You take your chances, right? Greatest player of all time. But yeah, that's just so wild, and we're going to see some crazy tanking with like San Antonio and OKC and Indiana. I think eventually, I'm not sure if they're going to do it right out the gate. But it's going to be really goofy. But like this is opening day, and I assume they play it clean, they play it straight, right? Just
I don't know if they want to tank that bad. Why would they not just trade for Russell Westbrook?
That's the one trade that's being floated out there. I'm not sure if you've heard.
Yeah, what is it, Buddy Hyde and
Buddy Hield, Miles Turner for Russ, and like a couple of ones or something like that for the Lakers. And I still don't think. I mean, that'll help the Lakers. Obviously, the Lakers are just such a poorly constructed team. We don't have time to get into that, but
they're poorly constructed just because of Russ.
Well, not just because of Russ, but like you're supposed to put shooters around LeBron. They just didn't do that. I mean, obviously, one of the reasons is Russ is not a good shooter.
You literally just want 3-and-D guys.
Yes,
around LeBron. That's it.
Yes,
like they had it perfect with what Avery Bradley,
like KCP, like those kind of guys.
KCP. They had what came from Toronto. Why am I not remembering his name?
Jay Crowder. I don't know.
No,
like those types.
Plays it too. Gosh, what I think he might be. I can't remember.
What team is he on now?
Jehovah's Witness, I think.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I forget. Yeah, I remember reading about that.
He's on Philly.
Say it again?
He's on Philly, I think.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know.
That is going to bother me. Talk to me about how much you love Buddy Hyde under 17.5 points.
Are you thinking of PJ Tucker?
No.
How much do I love Buddy Hield? Is that what you're saying?
Buddy Hield under 17.5 points.
How much do I love it? I don't know. This is you that loves it. I didn't pick that one, but
minus 115 over at Bet365. Turner's coming back. Should see a decrease in usage. They don't really need to play him that much. He's a decent player. They're trying to tank still. Don't have any reason to develop him. Under 17.5 points, easy. DeAndre Hunter under 21.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 120. Sorry, I'm not giving you a ton of time to talk about these, Dean, but I've got a lot of them. But talk to me about DeJounte Murray. Not going to have the same usage over in Atlanta. Under 21.5 points is minus 105 over at DraftKings. What do you think about that bet?
I am really curious to see how that works with Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, but like I don't know. But I would agree that like his usage should go down with Trae Young over there. I suspect Young to be the alpha over Murray. For what it's worth, Young was
Danny Granger was the answer.
Danny Granger. Oh yeah, he was really good for like 2 or 3 years. I think he got hurt.
Oh wait, no, never mind. It was Danny Green I was thinking of.
Danny Granger doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason Danny Granger was coming to mind is because there was one comedian that made a joke on stage like, yeah, I hooked up with an NBA player and he wanted these weird things. And yeah, something mentioned.
I saw the same thing on like TikTok. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then her boyfriend is like, hey, maybe next time do a little research because there are only 2 players that are Jehovah's Witness in the NBA. And so I hear her telling her joking. And she's like, yeah, so if you're wondering which one it is, it's the lighter one. Yeah,
I do remember. Is it on YouTube? It was on like whatever YouTube's version of TikTok is, or if they're the same corporation, I don't know. But I remember running into that randomly, like for like 15 seconds, whatever it was, and Yeah, we saw the same thing maybe like a week or two ago. So the algorithm, we line up for some reason.
Yeah.
By the way, Bogdanovic's not playing for Atlanta for what it's worth. They just paid Hunter. Hunter has got a nice contract, but he's obviously
Yeah,
not.
but 21.5 is a little bit too high considering how many guys there are in that offense. Like with Murray there and Trae Young there, that alone is going to eat up tons of the usage.
Yeah, but Hunter's going to play 30, 35 minutes.
We've seen him do that many times before and not get close to 21.5.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying, like he's going to be out there. It's just
but he's the fifth option offensively in that lineup when he's out there in the starting lineup. It might honestly be worse with Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Collins, and Capella.
Well, he can't be worse than fifth. Like, is some guy on the bench is a better option?
Well, I'm just saying, like, sometimes having a guy in the starting lineup is actually worse for their numbers. They may play more minutes, but their usage is going to just tank because of everyone else in the offense.
They're better off in the second unit. I got you. Yeah. I'm really curious about the Kungwu and Capella. We don't have time to get into that, but I think we might see a Kungwu potentially take him over at some point. He's more the future than Capella.
They're probably going to do what they did last year with Capella, and Capella starts, plays 10 minutes, and then Kungwu comes in.
Well, we'll see. Like, we got to project it tonight for 28 and 20, Capella and Kungwu. And also, like, it might be just sort of performance-based. And, whoever's playing better might close. We'll see how that goes. But revenge game for Clint Capella. But, yeah, I'm just really interested in that. And I meant to ask you, you mentioned Stewart. I wonder if he's got – last year, remember Beef Stew, like, started shooting some threes at the end of the season? I wonder if there's any odds out there on him for three-pointers. I want to ask you about Bam, too. Bam Adebayo. Because
Bam, I currently have the over of 17.5 points.
Yeah, but is there an interesting number as far as him making a three? Because he's made like basically no threes. But theoretically, they're talking about how that's added to his game, and he's always been able to hit them in practice. And like, he's the guy that like they want him to start. You want bigs these days. 2022 basketball. It's great that he's a great defensive player and he's good in the post and all that. But if they can add that to his game, that would be a huge boost. And theoretically, he's going to start doing that. That's the thought, but we'll see. Stay tuned. Like we've seen guys.
Yeah, remember when they said that about Drummond?
Yes, I do remember they said about Drummond, and he's made a few, but it did not go well.
Well, apparently he's been shooting them in a preseason, I want to say.
You talking about Bam?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. That's why I'm asking.
Drummond.
What's that?
Drummond.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's another guy that just like, to stick around in the league. Drummond would have been an all-star if he played in, 1998. It would have been great.
Yeah.
But he's just.
I feel like he was an all-star like 6 years ago.
He might have been, but like, yeah. But, he's not really. Like, he's a good accumulator of stats. Give him that. But
yeah, true that. Jonas Valanciunas, under 27.5 points, rebounds, assists, under 11.5 rebounds. They're going to be careful with him. Like, they're going to be careful with him pretty quickly because, for one, he's getting older, and for two, they've always done that. With Zion in there, they don't really need him in there as much. It can sometimes be a little bit of a liability having a big out there depending on the matchup. This could potentially be one going up against Brooklyn. Easy unders here. No,
I totally agree with all that. He might be the big that gets cut, right? I definitely agree. I think, Zion's obviously going to be the guy. And Zion probably doesn't play 35 out the gate. I wouldn't guess, maybe around 30, 20. We haven't projected for 28, which seems kind of conservative. And you mentioned the matchup against Brooklyn. Like, Brooklyn, they're going to have Claxton as one of their, big centers. I'm not sure if he's officially going to be starting. I assume he starts. We'll see. But, like, when he's not out there, there's talks of maybe Simmons being, like, the de facto 5, right?
He might as well be. I mean, he's 6'11". He pretty much all he does is in the paint. All he is a center that can dribble.
Is Ben Simmons 6'11"?
6'10", maybe.
I can't believe that. Maybe I would guess like 6'8".
10.
He's 6'10"?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I think that's going to happen. And like, Valanciunas, it's weird to say they can go small because the center on the other side is going to be 6'10". But I think that's going to be how it goes, sort of. And, there's sort of positionless basketball a lot of times too. You say Simmons is the 5, and that sounds weird, but, there's only so many times they're actually playing those specific positions, right? The traditional ideas of them. But I think Valanciunas is probably takes the biggest hit amongst the New Orleans guys. So I like betting against him to start the season. They're probably too high.
Yeah, you know what one of my favorite bets on the board is?
What's that?
CJ McCollum over assist. What do you think his assist props at?
5.
4.5, so close enough. But plus 100 over at D or plus 105 over at DK, plus 100 over at Bet Rivers and Superbook. I just kept hitting that every place it was close. Yeah, guys run point. Guy could dish the ball out. 4.5 is just a stupid line.
We got our projections, McCollum, at 5.55 for what it's worth. So you're getting, that's a pretty solid bet according to our projections.
Yeah. Julius Randle under 20.5 points. Brunson being in that offense is going to take a lot away from him. Like they have Brunson, they have Fournier, they have Barrett, they have Randle. Like 20.5 is too high of a line for Randle.
He's coming off a rough season. Obviously the year before he was very, very good. He overexcelled, and last year pretty rough. New York plays really slow. Second slowest team in all basketball last year. They're facing Memphis. Memphis last year is fast, so it's up in pace if you want to make that argument. But yeah, I'm not. I think Randall clearly overachieved a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Looking at the other pieces as far as New York.
Just Brunson being in there.
Say it again?
Just Brunson being in there is going to take away a ton from him.
I think so. But Brunson's like not this. He's kind of a distributor too. Like he could do both, right? He can
do both, but there's just too many mouths to feed where Randall's not going to eat up that much usage.
What was the number you said you had?
20.5.
Actual points.
RG projections have him at, 17.7.
Yeah, that's too high. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of places have moved down to 19. Yeah, it's just a stupid line.
He can do it, but I think more times than not he doesn't. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Do you know who the best player in the league is playing him today?
Oh, it's funny. I was thinking about this. I knew I was going to do a show with you today. Last night I was looking at stuff. I like him too, man. I like your boy Bane. I'm in a couple season-long leagues, and he's on at least one of my teams. I thought of you when I drafted him, but. Yeah, no Triple J, obviously. He'll be back hopefully in December. We'll see. But, talk to me about Desmond Bane.
Yeah, no Dylan Brooks tonight. Desmond Bane over 20.5 points. It's him and Ja. That's the majority of this offense without Triple J and without Brooks in there.
Melton's gone too.
Zaire Williams, not a huge thing, is out today. Forgot they have Danny Green.
No, Danny Green's he's out for the year. He tore his ACL.
Okay. That's why I didn't remember it.
He tore his ACL last year in the playoffs, I believe. And some people think that might just be it. But yeah, he did it in the playoffs and tore his ACL. It was terrible. And I assume he doesn't play this season. He's not playing anytime soon.
Yeah, he's 35 years old. Why would he?
Yeah.
But over 20.5 points. I got plus 107 for some reason at Bet Rivers. No idea how, but I think they moved the line already. Then got it minus 104 over FanDuel. FanDuel moved it to 19.5 minus 120. So go hammer that. Bane going nuts tonight. I might even hit the ladder.
Did you bet? Are you talking threes or just points?
Points.
Are you betting threes as well? I know last year you hammered the threes all the time.
Yeah, I don't know if I am. I'm about to hit the ladder here on Desmond Bane, the greatest player of all time.
I'm on the fly. I'm checking this. I feel like in my head that New York did a very good job of suppressing threes. They were one of the best defensive 3-point shooting teams last year. For what it's worth, let's pull this up. Do you care about that? Because I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm making this up, or maybe they were the worst. No, they were kind of in the middle. Okay, never mind. I'm thinking something else. Yeah.
Don't you feel dumb?
Who was I thinking of? That was maybe I was thinking of Dallas. I'm not sure. Yeah. So New York gave up 12.7 threes last season, which was the 10th most. So yeah, they're fine to fire against. Just New York their pace isn't as good, so you might lose a possession or two, but they're not great, obviously.
Yeah, I just hit the over 25 points plus 225 and over of 30 points for plus 640.
I like it.
Yeah, we love our Desmond Bain.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the more undervalued, underappreciated, underrated players in the league. I mean, I think people are going to come around soon enough. And Memphis probably doesn't help, right? As far as his, it's one of the. I mean, obviously, Jaws gets all the attention there, but it's not like this glorified NBA city. Eventually, he's going to get noticed, I think. But is that fair to say he's one of the more undervalued players in the league? I think.
Yes, Bain is kind of turning into like Klay Thompson, Paul George slowly. Not quite there yet, but like he is. What was his 3-point percentage last year? I think it was one of the top in the league.
Well, Paul George like better defensive player. We'll say that.
Bain is still a very, very solid defensive player. Very good.
He's good. I like him. Big
Desmond Bain, career 43.5% 3-point percentage.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, he's one of the better defensive players. Like he underrated defensively. He's very good. Like throws things off having Ja in there, and Dylan Brooks just taking up all the usage. They need to get rid of Dylan Brooks. Maybe they will by the deadline. Hopefully, Dylan Brooks would fit much better in a different team.
Yeah, I thought Melton was like possibly better than Brooks. I don't know the contract situation there.
Brooks.
What's that?
Brooks would be good if he took the Danny Green KCP rule.
But he thinks he's like great.
Dylan Brooks wants to be Ja Morant. That's the problem. Dylan Brooks is Colin Sexton that's good defensively. Not efficient.
As an insult.
Wants to take too much usage.
Speaking of teams that are trying to tank.
Yeah, Bam Adebayo over 17.5 points, -112 over at Superbook. Won't spend too much time since a lot of states don't have
again, he's expected to be more aggressive this year. Like I can't remember the quote exactly, but like Coach Spo basically said, "I want you taking like 15 shots." I can't remember what he said. Like he's like basically said he's going to take more. He's supposed to take more shots this year. He's supposed to add the 3. So I think his numbers gonna be a little bit undervalued. Based off last year, obviously. I think Bam's a little bit more aggressive this season. By the way, weird thing in that game. On the other side, the Bulls, Zach LaVine is questionable for injury management. What?
For game 1?
Like we didn't manage this guy to like get him ready for game 1. What are we talking about? Like I don't. You never.
He may just be. They already confirmed the lineup. He's in there.
Okay.
But, yeah,
that's already in?
I think it's one of those things to like not only set it up for later on the season or all the way down the season, kind of the LeBron thing. Like how he's questionable every single day last season, pretty much.
Do you know how many games LeBron played last year?
All of them?
82. He was questionable for like 80 of them.
He really played every game last year?
Yep.
It's wild.
I know. At 36, 37 years old.
Gosh, he is just an absolute freak of nature.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Jarrett Allen, over 10.5 rebounds, -106 over Bet Rivers. I hit this yesterday at DK. Hitting it again. Rudy Gobert, this will be an interesting one to get your take on. Over 13.5 rebounds, +105 over at DraftKings.
Yeah, I like it. I think he's just that's what he's going to do, man. I mean, Cat's going to get hurt by that, but I think that I think Gobert is going to get 14, 15, 16, 17 rebounds a night pretty regularly. He's facing an OKC team that's not very efficient, that's going to miss a ton of shots, therefore more rebounds as well. I think the only thing that gets him, potentially, if this game blows out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like he gets there. Yeah. I mean, he's going to get like 10 boards in the first half.
Yeah.
So,
who's going to have a massive role in their offense? Devin Vassell. Over 15.5 points, -125 at FanDuel. He's going to be shooting. With that DeJounte in there, like the usage is going to go up drastically for him.
The tank is fully on in San Antonio. Devin Vassell, if you're looking at the small sample stuff, but in preseason, he had awesome usage. It's going to be him and Big Body Johnson, I believe, like as far as like who's going to be getting all the shots up for that team. I don't know how much they're going to I think Pop's going to play like 10, 11, 12 guys. I think we'll see. Like Primo's going to get involved, and Pirtle until he gets traded. I think Pirtle should get traded at some point this season. And the matchup against Charlotte, this should be like one of those like not great basketball games, but good for like accumulating fantasy points. But yeah, I think Vassell and Kelvin are going to be the two, 1 and 1A on the San Antonio offensive side. And I like them a lot tonight. And me, I'm coming at it from a DFS perspective first. And those guys are both really, really cheap in DFS. I haven't run any stuff as far as optimals, but I would not be surprised if one of, if not both, are in optimal lineups. But yeah, I think that the market is probably not efficient enough. I like the overs on Vassell. And I don't know what Johnson is, but it's probably too low.
Yeah, I don't know. Vassell, yeah, we projected for almost 18. Keldon Johnson is at 22.5, and he's projected for 21.5. So, okay, yeah,
pretty high.
I stayed with that. Plumlee, I think, is going to have a reduced role in this offense, or just reduced playing time. He's getting old. Under 3.5 assists, under 8.5 rebounds. Clarkson is kind of the last man standing, I guess.
It's a weird situation there in Utah because, again, this is another team that we might see Conley get shut down at some point, but as of right now, we're projecting him to start.
He's got. Why doesn't he get? I know they talked about. Why doesn't he get traded to the Lakers?
Doesn't he? Well, first of all, he's not very good anymore. And
compared to Westbrook,
say it again.
Compared to Westbrook,
okay, but like he'll make them win an extra couple games or two, maybe possibly. But like he's not going to move the needle. He's not that good anymore, and he can only play so much.
They have Beverly. They don't need him to play that much.
He's 35. Is he still on that? Like he was once upon a time, wasn't that long ago, maybe 5-6 years ago. He had the biggest contract in the league, Mike Conley. Is he still on that contract? He might be.
No, he that ended. He signed another one for like $20 million a year.
Okay. Yeah, this is. Wait, when did he sign? 3 years, $68 million in 2021.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, do you think Connolly swapping in for Westbrook makes any difference?
Yes.
Enough of a difference that it matters. It's worth acknowledging.
Yes.
Okay. I don't.
Westbrook is an awful fit. Conley can shoot.
He's not Desmond Bane out there.
He's a 40% 3-point shooter.
Yeah, he's good. He's fine. But he's also not prepared. Well, I guess obviously he wouldn't be asked to do a ton necessarily.
He doesn't have to do almost anything. Again, you need 3-and-D, and he's not terrible defensively still.
I don't know that offhand. I wouldn't say with confidence he's a good defender, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is not the talk about the Lakers show. It's a sports betting show, but yeah, under 18.5 points for Jordan Clarkson, just too high of a number. I mean, they still have Conley, they still have Sexton, they have Markkanen in there, like Vanderbilt and Olynyk.
Olynyk can really do some things. They let him do some things, but I don't know if they will. But we'll see. And yeah, it's Utah's going to be a weird team this year, man. It's going to be tough to figure them out.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be an ugly year.
It's going to be bad. Whatever. However, the conclusion's the same, but just how they get there.
You know what my favorite futures bet? I wonder if they'll let me put more money down. Let's go ahead and check out the futures tool.
What is it?
Nuggets.
It's funny. I was looking at the board yesterday. They're like 16-1 to win the title.
20.
Where? Okay, I was looking at DK, but you were probably you were finding the best.
Why are you looking at DK when we have this nice little future shopping tool?
Because I was curious about something. I pulled up the DK Sportsbook just to get an idea. The real reason.
And it was letting me get $5 down on Nuggets future.
Oh man, I think Denver's pretty good too. For 20-1 is pretty solid. I don't think it's likely they win, but that's not what you're betting on, obviously.
That is what I'm betting on. I think it's a decent chance they win.
It's not the most likely scenario, but it's 20-1. So it's better than 5% chance that they win the whole thing.
Yeah, it's projected less than 5% chance that they win. And I think they realistically have like an 8 or 9% chance. It's lots of value.
Some, maybe a development, step forward for Bones. People are excited about Bones Highland this year.
Bone Zone. Bone size ready.
Are you doing like the Spider-Man bone saw? I thought that's what you're doing.
That is what I was doing. Bone size ready.
Randy Macho Man Savage.
Randy Savage.
Murray's back this year, obviously, coming back from his devastating injury. He doesn't have to be perfect to start the season, but I think eventually he'll get there. And they have KCP, a guy that could be useful, like a useful player with to play alongside a guy like Jokic, because and we'll see what Porter. Porter obviously his back's always a concern, but if he stays healthy, it's an interesting team, and they might add somebody. Who knows? We'll see. Are you going to be catching any games there in Denver?
I don't know. DK finally limited me, so there goes my free meal ticket.
Yeah. You're winning too much money. You gotta tank a little bit. You gotta take a lesson from San Antonio and Utah and tank whatever.
Right. I like the fact that it took me this long to get limited is incredible. Like, there's certain ways to do it. Like, I always had to have futures out there for big amount of money. So when they look at my win loss, they're like, oh, okay, he's not winning money because they incorporate futures into it. So the fact that I always had futures outstanding.
That's smart. I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, I figured out ways around it. And then finally, like, all my futures paid out and they're like, yeah, you're done.
You're going to take a cue from Mr. Unlimited and how to not to get limited. Russ is right in your backyard, isn't he?
I mean, he's pretty limited now.
Yeah. I love it. I love the Russ stuff. I think he's leaning in. I think he's having fun.
He's got to be. There's no way.
He's in on the bit. That's my theory.
Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, that's it. That's the show. Guys, go on, get signed up at scoresandodds.com. Go to scoresandodds.com/Discord. Just threw it in the chat there. And get in my Discord where you've got all these beautiful picks. Look at all these picks. We did well last night. Was on a little bit of a rough streak for the prior week, but that's because I was in Vegas most of the time. But yeah, won a G off of 4G last night. Not too bad.
You won 4G last night?
Yeah.
For basketball?
No, I won a G off of 4G. I actually won some hockey bets too.
Can you name the players you wagered on?
Nope. Doesn't matter. I make money moves. We've done really well on hockey. Dogs under the desk being knee. Yeah, we've won $6,000 off of hockey so far in 2022.
Wow, that's pretty good. And the season just started. We're about 2 weeks in.
I mean, well, no, $6,000 since like going back to the last season. This is since April.
Okay. I hear Doc's your dog. Doc's supposed to hear my voice and get excited because me and Doc bonded when I was in your house.
Yeah, he's a good puppy. He's a good puppy. That's it. That's the show. I gotta go write stuff up and then go get 9 holes of golf in and then go back to work.
Look at you, man. I got a full day as well. Yeah, feel free to check out my Grinders Live. I think it's 5 o'clock today. I want to say
every gosh darn day you get to see Daniel.
I'll be shaved by then. If you notice, I did not shave today. This is like,
I did not notice. It's so wispy.
I'm so masculine, you can't tell. This is probably 5 days or so, but yeah. Is that you're about 5 days too? Is that right?
Yeah, roughly 5 days,
give or take. But enjoy your golf and get us out of here.
All right, it's been fun, guys. We're out of here.